Okay, I think we're live. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're live. Hopefully we're live. I hope this is like actually being recorded. Okay, hi everybody. So welcome to Ali's World of Finance. This is the first time that I'm ever live streaming, so I apologize if things go horribly wrong. Never done this before, but what we're doing is we're going to stream the AMD earnings call. I haven't even really looked at the numbers yet. I know that the stock has been going up apparently, but I haven't even really looked at the numbers yet. And I just want to let you know we're recording this about 15 minutes before the earnings call. So if you end up watching this later on, like if you don't watch this live and you watch it later on, please feel free to skip ahead about 15 minutes if you want to just listen to the earnings call. And during the earnings call, I probably won't be talking much. I'll probably just kind of play the earnings call and leave that playing. By the way, I have like the earnings call playing right now in the background. It's just kind of music. It'll start in about 15 minutes, and if it's too loud or anything, or if you guys need like volume change, let me know and I'll adjust the volume. Okay, so should we look at the results? I don't even know what the results are yet, but the report came out already, so, and I know that the stock is up a lot, so let me see what this stock is up. So, okay, looks like in extended hours trading, the stock is up over 8%, so it is up a lot, and we're at, right now it looks like we're at $15.29, which is really good. And when looking at like expectations, I believe it was expected, EPS was expected to be around flat. I think Zacks actually had an expectation of 0.03% EPS for quarter two. But I think most analysts had it kind of just breaking even at zero. And when looking at, sorry, hold on a second, let me see here. This is my first time trading. And okay, this someone left a comment. So Luke, so it says this is my first time trading an earnings call, and that reversal shook me a little. Is that common? I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to, but the fact that it's up like about 8%. But okay, sorry. So looking through here. Revenue was expected to be around, I think most people had the expectations of it being around 1.16 billion. And let's look at the results here. And by the way, I'm paying a lot of attention to guidance because I think guidance is what is basically what's on everybody's mind, and a lot of people are looking forward to quarter three, and I think quarter three is actually going to be like the really important quarter. So a lot of people were looking to see, you know, what their guidance is for that. But when looking at what they reported here, so let's see here. Okay, so they reported $1.22 billion in revenue, so they beat expectations on revenue, and they reported EPS of 2 cents per share, so that also beat expectations, because like I said, expectations were to either break even or to be, I don't know, Zach's had it like negative 0.03, but it looks like we're at positive 2 cents, so that's really good. Let's see here, analysts had modeling, okay, yeah, 1.16 billion, so they beat that. Okay, it says for the current quarter, the company sees revenue to rise 23% from last quarter, plus or minus 3%. That would be a range of 1.46 billion to 1.54 billion, which is ahead of the consensus 1.39 billion. And yeah, that's true, because now I'm looking at the estimations here. So Zacks had quarter three revenue being at about 1.4 billion, but it looks like a lot of the analysts had it at around 1.3 to 1.4, and so it looks like their guidance is for 1.46 to 1.54. So that's really good too. So that probably shot the stock up, and the stock yes, and so the stock is up over 8%. Okay, let's see here. Oh, okay, I see what he's saying. So he says, you know how it dipped right after, then shot up. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I usually don't make too many plays on earnings calls, or earning reports, because I'm usually not very good at timing it. By the way, sorry if the quality of the video is like horrible. This is my first time doing it. Hopefully it'll get better next time. But yeah, I'm usually really bad at predicting these things, so I usually try to play it a little safe. Sometimes what I'll do is I will sell part of my stock and then just to be safe, and then if the stock dips on the report of earnings, then I'll pick some more up, and that's kind of a way of getting a discount. But I don't usually pick up a lot of stock before the earnings because I'm always scared that the earnings is gonna make the stock drop. In this case, I just kind of held because I believed in AMD. I didn't have any reason to make any changes. But yeah, as far as like it dipping, I wasn't even tracking it, to be honest. I was trying to set up this live stream, so I didn't even know that it dipped and then shot up. Okay, so yeah, so during the regular day, it went down 0.35%. It probably went down more than that. Yeah, it might have gone down more than that earlier during the day. But I wasn't really tracking it, so I wasn't really paying attention. I think maybe people were doing what I say that I kind of do sometimes, which is to sell part of my stock, and that's kind of just a way of playing it kind of safe. And then I go through the earnings and pick some more up if it dips or things like that. But yeah, I'm not really sure why it dipped during the day. But and to be honest, like I would have thought that it actually would have gone up during the day because a lot of analysts were, well, I don't know if I guess a lot of analysts were basically predicting that their expectations would be beat. So I think a lot of people were expecting AMD to beat analyst expectations. So I would have expected the stock to actually go up during regular day trading. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it went down 0.35% for some reason. And then, but now in extended hours trading, it's definitely gone up, which is what should have kind of happened anyway. Okay, if you guys are just tuning in, we're gonna live stream the earnings call. You guys don't have to watch, by the way. I won't be offended if you guys don't watch. This is kind of just a way for me to test the live stream. I've never done this before, but and I usually have to listen to earnings calls by myself, so this is kind of a cool way of just hanging out with some people who want to hear the earnings call and that. But the earnings call should start in about 8 minutes, so it'll be starting soon. And during that time, I won't really be talking much. I'll kind of just let the earnings call play, and we'll just kind of listen to that and see what they say. But should be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to them talking about Epic, especially. I'm really looking forward to them talking about Epic and a couple other things. So, like we mentioned earlier, so they beat revenue, they beat EPS. It looks like they beat guidance for Q3 for revenue. So they increased guidance for Q3 revenue higher than what expectations were. So that's really good. Let's see here. The company raised its year revenue outlook, saying AMD now expects annual revenue to increase by a mid to high teens percentage compared to prior guidance of low double-digit percentage revenue growth. So that's really good too. And then Lisa Su said the results demonstrate strong growth driven by leadership products and focused execution. Su added, our Ryzen desktop processors, Vega GPUs, and Epic data center products have tremendous industry recognition. We are very pleased with our improved financial performance, including double-digit revenue growth and year-over-year gross margin expansion on the strength of our new products. And then it says AMD stock is up 9% to 1535. And I'm looking at it on E-Trade right now. Let me see. Okay, so right now it looks like it kind of went back down a little bit. So right now the stock is at $15.08, and it's up over 6%, up almost 7%. So we're looking pretty good, and looks like all expectations were beat. Looks like guidance came in pretty good. So I mean, I don't know. There's not really any reason to not be bullish. I think this is looking really great. And like I said, I wasn't tracking this. I was kind of just trying to set up the live stream, so I wasn't even tracking this. So all this is kind of like brand new news to me. So this is really good. And I was expecting them to beat expectations. I knew that breaking even, like I mentioned before, Zach's had it at negative 0.03 cents of EPS, and I was expecting them to easily beat that. But it looks like most of the other analysts had it kind of breaking even. And it looks like they beat that. They reported they reported 2 cents EPS, so it looks like they beat it pretty easily here. And they also beat revenue too, so that's looking good. All right, let's check out the live stream. All right, doesn't look like there's any comments or anything, so we'll just kind of hang out. By the way, did you guys hear about that company that's like, they're putting microchips in people now? It's crazy, man. I guess they're putting like what is it, RFID chips into people. I think the company's called like 3 Square or something like that. 3 Square Market, or I don't know, something like that. I think they like remodel like employee lounges and things like that, and they sell items, and I guess they like they have like video cameras set up so that people don't steal, but it's kind of crazy. I think they had like over 50 employees volunteering to have the microchip put inside them, and I think it's crazy. Like I wouldn't do that, but just getting like a nice, I don't know, a nice chip in your hand, getting like a healthy dose of radiation. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. And then Hasbro dipped also, and Hasbro is one of my favorite stocks, and I am looking to invest in Hasbro now because they took a very nice dip. Blue TJ, I'm so excited. Holy shit. Yeah, man, tell me about it. Like, I'm so happy, dude. Like my Nintendo stock is down right now, and Nintendo is my biggest stock, so my Nintendo stock is down, which is not good. But Nintendo reports earnings on Wednesday. I hope that they have some sort of similar result to AMD. But yeah, AMD, it's looking really good, man. A lot of people were making fun of us for investing in AMD, and there was so many bears out there and telling us, like, oh, you guys will never be profitable and all these different things. And this was a really good. It looks like this was a really good report here. Have I checked? It says, have you checked after hours yet? It's crazy. Yeah, I was just looking at it, and I'll go ahead and refresh it. But it was up like over 9%, I think, and then it kind of went back down. Okay, now it's back. Now it's at over 7%. It kind of went down, like it went down under 7%. Now it's back up over 7%. But yeah, I mean, it's like whatever happens now, who cares? Like we're golden, dude. Like honestly, it looks like we beat all expectations. We came out with strong guidance. So now all that's really left is to just listen to the call and to hear their tone, and to hear how they sound about all these different things, and to get some analyst questions in there and see how they answer the questions. And because a lot of people, like, to be honest, what really matters is quarter 3, and quarter 3 is a big deal. We're gonna have Epic and those the Vega and all that. So see, so who invested in AMD? Well, I definitely invested in AMD. Financial investor. I definitely invested in AMD. That's my second biggest stock. See, Blue TJ, I'm really not sure what's gonna happen. I expect a great earnings report, but who knows about the dumb big investors. And then someone else here. I have almost 200 AMD shares. I regret not buying more. Yeah, man. Josh, I regret not buying more too, to be honest. And then another person here, Emmett, 2.4 thousand shares. And then he says something that I can't really mention. Let's see, but he's excited. I'll put it that way. He's excited. And then Blue TJ, I have 368 right now. Yeah, man. So it's looking good. I know my channel has like a lot of my subscribers are invested in AMD. So this is awesome. This is like just what I wanted, and we can all kind of just be happy now. So it's looking really good. How many do you own? I've been debating whether I want to disclose all of like my personal financial numbers and everything. I want to, but I don't know, man. Like, people have been telling me, like, don't give out all of your personal information on YouTube, so I don't know if I should, to be honest. But I own a lot. It's my second biggest stock, I'll tell you that much. Nintendo's my biggest, and then AMD is my second biggest. And then he says you shouldn't. Yeah. So yeah. Well, thanks for the advice. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So it's looking good, man. I am pretty happy. I'm also happy just because we had so many bears, man. So many like people just talking like just talking like talking shit, and and so it just kind of feels good to come out strong, dude. Because I've been hearing it all the time, man. Oh, you're an idiot. Like AMD is like such a bad stock. Like good luck losing your money. Like all kinds of stuff, dude. It's so nice that it's looking pretty good. It's like Christmas right now when I was still a child. Yeah, man. It is. It's a good feeling, dude. And the earnings call is gonna start. I'm gonna test the volume, guys. So tell me if it's too loud or too low. Like feel free to let me know, and I'll try to fix it. That's like the music right now. I don't know. Well, I'll adjust the volume when the earnings call starts. I'm gonna have a beer, by the way. So we're gonna be hanging out. We're gonna be listening to the earnings call, and I'm gonna be taking notes. Actually, I need a pen. I was gonna be taking notes. Here, been listening to the music for the past hour. Yeah, man, Blue TJ's excited, man. Let's see, having 2.4 thousand shares is good. How long did you hold? Buy in at? And another person said I have over 500 shares. Yep.
Greetings.
There we go.
And welcome to
Let me know if it's too loud or too low.
Second quarter 2017 conference call. At this time, all participants are in listen-only mode. A question-and-answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press star 0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Laura Graves, Vice President of Investor Relations. Please go ahead.
Thank you and welcome to AMD's second quarter conference call. By now, you should have had the opportunity to review a copy of our earnings release and the CFO commentary and slides. If you have not reviewed these documents, they can be found on AMD's website at ir.amd.com. Participants on today's call are Dr. Lisa Su, our President and Chief Executive Officer, and Devinder Kumar, our Senior Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Treasurer. This is a live call and will be replayed via webcast on amd.com. I would like to highlight a few key dates for you. Mark Papermaster, Senior Vice President and Chief Technology Officer, will present at the Canaccord Genuity Global Growth Conference on August 9th. Raja Koduri, Senior Vice President and Chief Architect of Radeon Technologies Group, will present at the Jefferies Semiconductors, Hardware, and Communications Infrastructure Summit on August 30th. Forrest Norrod, Senior Vice President and General Manager of our Enterprise, Embedded, and Semi-Custom Business Group, will present at the Deutsche Bank Technology Conference on September 12th.
Blue TJ saying he'd be stressed out to run
will begin at the close of business on Friday, September 15th, 2017.
Saying he'd be stressed to run a public company. I have
Today's discussion contains forward-looking statements based on the environment as we currently see it. Those statements are based on current beliefs, assumptions, and expectations, speak only as of the current date, and as such involve risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from our current expectations. Additionally, please note that we will be referring to non-GAAP financials during this call, except for revenue and segment operating income or loss, which is on a GAAP basis. The non-GAAP financial measures referenced are reconciled to their most directly comparable GAAP financial measure in the press release and CFO commentary posted on our website at quarterlyearnings.amd.com. Please refer to the cautionary statement in today's earnings press release and CFO commentary for more information. You'll also find detailed discussions about our risk factors in our filings with the SEC and in particular AMD's quarterly report on Form 10-Q for the quarter ended April 1st, 2017. Now, with that, I will hand the call over to Lisa. Lisa?
Thank you, Laura, and good afternoon to all those listening in today. Q2 was a strong quarter for us as we continued to ramp our high-performance product portfolio. Second quarter revenue increased 19% to $1.22 billion, and gross margin improved year over year. Importantly, we returned to non-GAAP net income profitability in the quarter, driven by strong growth in our Computing and Graphics segment. Looking at our Computing and Graphics segment, we made excellent progress in the quarter and reported operating profitability for the first time in 3 years based on our leadership Ryzen processor and GPU product offerings. The expansion and growing adoption of our Ryzen CPUs, combined with our 6th consecutive quarter of double-digit year-over-year graphics revenue growth, resulted in a 51% increase in computing and graphics segment sales year-over-year. Client computing revenue increased by a strong double-digit percentage from a year ago, driven by a significant ramp and strong sell-through of our Ryzen CPUs in the first full quarter of sales. Our Ryzen family of processors drove a richer mix of shipments, and client ASPs improved significantly from a year ago. All major PC OEMs have announced premium Ryzen-based desktop systems, with widespread availability expected for the back-to-school and holiday seasons. As we move into the second half of 2017, we are on track to complete the full family of Ryzen processors, including Ryzen 3 processors targeting the mainstream and value market segments with on-shelf availability later this week, Ryzen Threadripper products for the high-end desktop markets with global component channel availability in early August, Ryzen Pro-based offerings targeting the commercial client segment with availability in Q3, and Ryzen mobile APUs, which will be available for the consumer market later this year. In graphics, GPU revenue increased by a strong double-digit percentage from a year ago, with higher unit shipments and ASPs driving growth across our desktop and mobile GPU products. Demand for Radeon RX GPUs was strong in the quarter, driven by gaming and cryptocurrency mining. In June, we began the introduction of our Vega GPU architecture with the launch of the Radeon Vega Frontier Edition, delivering a powerful professional workstation graphics card designed to tackle demanding design, rendering, and machine intelligence workloads. Apple announced that our Radeon Pro Vega product will power the new iMac Pro, a workstation-class product line designed for creators running the most demanding workflows. In addition, Apple also announced expanded iMac offerings, which are powered by the Radeon Pro 500 series. We will launch additional Radeon Vega products at SIGGRAPH next week, expanding further into premium portions of the consumer and professional GPU markets. Our investments in GPU compute and Radeon Instinct are continuing to build momentum. We introduced our first Vega-based Radeon Instinct data center products in June. These new GPU accelerators will significantly increase performance, efficiency, and ease of implementation for machine learning and high-performance computing workloads. We also showcased a server powered by AMD's EPYC SoC and 4 Radeon Instinct MI25 accelerators, working together to deliver groundbreaking performance of 100 teraflops. Interest and excitement are high as we recently started shipments of our Radeon Instinct MI25 accelerators to strategic data center customers. Turning to our enterprise embedded and semi-custom segment, revenue declined 5% year-over-year and increased 44% sequentially. The sequential revenue gains were primarily based on higher semi-custom product shipments due to seasonality. In addition, we reached an important milestone in the quarter, delivering initial EPYC server revenue. In our semi-custom business, unit shipments were up sequentially and down year-over-year as we enter the 5th year of the current game console sales cycle. This console cycle continues to outpace previous cycles, as Sony recently passed a milestone of 60 million PlayStation 4 consoles shipped. Last month, Microsoft announced the new Xbox One X with availability in November. This system will be Microsoft's smallest and most powerful Xbox ever made, and will be based on the combination of high-performance CPU and GPU IP that only AMD can provide. As we look at the remainder of the year, and given the maturity of the current game console cycle, we expect semi-custom revenue to be down for the full year. In our server business, last month we launched our EPYC family of high-performance data center processors, re-entering the incredibly important $16 billion data center market and setting several new industry performance records. With up to 32 high-performance Zen cores and an unparalleled feature set, Our EPYC family of processors deliver greater competitive performance at every price point across a full range of integer, floating point, memory bandwidth, and I/O benchmarks and workloads. Our 2-socket and 1-socket EPYC CPUs are designed to deliver industry-leading performance on critical enterprise, cloud, and machine intelligence workloads and provide a substantial TCO advantage. At our EPYC launch event, we were joined by more than 20 leading server manufacturers and global ecosystem partners who showcased optimized support and EPYC optimized platforms. We received compelling endorsements from OEM, cloud providers, and mega data center operators, including HP Enterprise, Dell, Baidu, and Microsoft Azure, with more than 20 EPYC-based platforms announced at launch. And we expect an additional 20 EPYC platforms to be available in the second half of 2017. With the strong global ecosystem and customer interest we have built around our EPYC processor family, we are on track to re-enter the data center market in a major way. In closing, we are very pleased with the trend of our quarterly results and how our products are positioned heading into the back half of the year. Our business foundation and growth opportunities are strong based on our high-performance product portfolio and our expanding customer traction. Given our first half 2017 performance and our visibility into the third quarter, we are happy to report we are progressing ahead of our annual revenue guidance, and we look forward to a strong year overall. Now, I'd like to turn the call over to Devinder to provide some additional color on our second quarter financial performance. Devinder?
Thank you, Lisa, and good afternoon, everyone. For the second quarter of 2017, AMD revenue grew 19% and gross margin expanded on a year-over-year basis, driven by a 51% year-over-year revenue increase in our computing and graphics segment. We achieved non-GAAP profitability on both an operating and net basis, with net income of $19 million and diluted earnings per share of 2 cents. Let me provide more specifics for the quarter. Gross margin was 33%, up 2 percentage points year over year due to a richer product mix and a higher percentage of revenue from our computing and graphics segment, driven by the first full quarter of Ryzen processor sales. Operating expenses were $381 million compared to $342 million a year ago. The increase was due primarily to higher graphics and data center R&D related investments. Net licensing gain from our server JV with THATIC was $25 million compared to $26 million a year ago, and we have recognized a total of approximately $140 million of net licensing gain to date. The remaining payments are related to production milestones and are expected to occur in 2018 and beyond. Operating income was $49 million in the second quarter of 2017, a significant improvement from an operating income of $3 million a year ago. Second quarter net interest expense, taxes, and other was $30 million, down from $43 million a year ago, primarily due to a lower overall interest rate and a lower debt balance. Net income was $19 million, or diluted earnings per share of 2 cents, as compared to a net loss of $40 million, or loss per share of 5 cents a year ago. Adjusted EBITDA was $84 million, compared to $36 million a year ago and $28 million in the prior quarter. Now turning to the business segments. Computing and graphics segment revenue was $659 million, up 51% year over year and up 11% sequentially. The year-over-year increase was driven by demand for our Ryzen desktop processors and graphics processors. Computing and graphics segment operating income was $7 million, the first quarterly operating profit in 3 years, compared to a loss of $81 million a year ago. The significant improvement was primarily due to higher revenue and an improved product mix. Enterprise, embedded, and semi-custom revenue was $563 million, down 5% year over year, primarily due to lower semi-custom SoC sales. Revenue was up 44% sequentially due to the seasonal semi-custom ramp. Additionally, in the quarter, we reached an important milestone and recognized initial revenue from EPYC data center processor shipments. Operating income was $42 million, down from $84 million a year ago, due primarily to lower revenue and higher data center-related R&D investments. Turning to the balance sheet, our cash equivalents, and marketable securities total $844 million at the end of the quarter, compared to $943 million at the end of the prior quarter, due primarily to changes in working capital, largely driven by wafer purchases in anticipation of stronger revenue growth in the third quarter. Inventory at the end of the quarter was $833 million, down slightly from the prior quarter of $839 million. Long-term debt on the balance sheet was $1.38 billion. Total principal debt, including our secured revolving line of credit, was $1.74 billion. In Q2, we repurchased $40 million of term debt utilizing our lower cost secured revolving line of credit. Free cash flow was negative $94 million, due primarily to changes in working capital, largely driven by wafer purchases. Turning to our outlook for the third quarter of 2017, which is a 13-week quarter, we expect revenue to increase approximately 23% sequentially, plus or minus 3%. At the midpoint, this equates to revenue growth of approximately 15% year over year. We now expect annual 2017 revenue to increase a mid to high teens percentage year over year, compared to our prior guidance of low double-digit growth. Non-GAAP gross margin to be approximately 34%. Non-GAAP operating expenses to be approximately $400 million. Non-GAAP interest expense, taxes, and other to be approximately $28 million, and inventory to be down sequentially. Third quarter diluted share count for modeling non-GAAP EPS is expected to be approximately 1.14 billion. This includes shares related to our 2026 convertible senior notes and the warrant held by a Mubadala entity. Additional information regarding diluted share count calculation can be found in the CFO commentary. In closing, Q2 was a strong quarter and our financial performance continues to improve. As Lisa shared in her remarks, our business continues to strengthen as we ramp new high-performance products and expand our presence in premium markets. We are pleased with the strong growth in revenue coupled with improving gross margin on the back of focused execution, financial discipline, and ongoing strategic investments in the business. With that, I'll turn it back to Laura. Laura?
Thank you. Thank you, Devinder. And operator, we're ready for our first question to begin Q&A.
Certainly. We'll now be conducting a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate your line is in the question queue. You may press star 2 if you'd like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star keys. Once again, that's star 1 if you'd like to ask a question.
And analysts.
Our first question today is coming from Mark Lipinski from
to
Jefferies. Please proceed
pressure
with your
them
question.
with questions and see how they react.
Hi, thanks for taking my question, and congrats on getting back into the black on CNG. The question is on EPYC, and I'm hoping that you can provide us some more color about, how the reception is going, how we should think about milestones going forward. And I'm wondering if you can tell us about, the number of different trials or where you're seeing the most traction and when you would expect this to ship into production environment in the Super 7 cloud guys. Thank you.
Sure, Mark. Thanks for your question. So we are very pleased with the reception to EPYC. The launch that we did in June was very well received. We had a number of customers as well as partners, OEM providers, ODM guys, as well as cloud providers who participated in that. The general reception has been very positive. I would say that interest level is very high. In fact, we're adding additional customer support to really ensure that we help customers get their platforms up and running. In terms of what to expect in the revenue ramp, we started shipping early volume in the second half of June. We would expect that we continue to ramp that revenue in the second half of the year. We would expect some additional customer announcements in the second half of the year, and then as we stated with both cloud and enterprise accounts, depending on their qualification cycles, it can take anywhere up to 4 quarters to qualify the parts. But so far so good. I think very good traction, and we continue to lean in hard on the data center opportunities.
Thank you. That's very helpful. And a follow-up, if I may, you mentioned crypto is helping the GPU side. That can be a dual-edged sword, and I was wondering if you can help, perhaps quantify like what that did to the upside, and is there any way to manage the risk of the miners breaking down their systems and putting it into the secondary market when the currency comes back down? Thank you.
Sure, Mark. So certainly the overall quarter for graphics was strong. Q2 tends to be seasonally down, and we were up in the quarter, so it was better than seasonal. I would say the better performance was due to 2 things. First of all, we did launch our RX 580 and 570 gaming cards in April, and those cards are very, very well positioned in the market, so they're doing well with gamers. Relative to cryptocurrency, we have seen some elevated demand. If you look at GPUs across the world, the inventory in the channel is actually quite lean, and so we're working on replenishing that inventory. Our priority, though, really is on our core market, which is the gaming market. And so, a couple of things that we are certainly doing are, we're prioritizing supply towards the gaming market. So, you'll see system integrators as well as on some of the major retailers. We have bundles with Ryzen and Radeon, and then some of our partners are also offering mining-specific cards that have a different feature set, such that we're really segmenting the market between gaming and mining. But it's important to say, we didn't have cryptocurrency in our forecast, and we're not looking at it as a long-term growth driver, but we'll certainly continue to watch the developments around the blockchain technologies as they go forward.
I don't know how much
Very
they really
helpful.
care
Thank
about
you.
crypto.
Thanks, Mark.
Operator, next question, please.
Our next question today is coming from Matt Ramsey from Canaccord Genuity. Please proceed with your question.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Lisa, I wanted to ask a little bit about the longer-term roadmap in your businesses across the CPU and GPU side. It occurs to me, and through some of the conversations we've had, particularly in the enterprise markets of high-end desktop and server, that some of the purchasing decisions made by your customers might be sort of dictated by how confident they are in the long-term roadmap that you guys are putting together as you move to 7 nanometer versus just the products that you've launched so far. So maybe you could talk a little bit about the roadmaps, how they're developing, and the progress that the team is seeing on the 7 nanometer front. Thanks.
Sure, Matt. So, look, I think the overall roadmap execution has been very good, very solid. I think our customers see that the Ryzen performance, the EPYC performance, on the CPU side, and then certainly the Vega performance on the GPU side have met our commitments. And the important thing, particularly in the enterprise market, as well as the commercial market, having a roadmap, a strong roadmap with multiple generations is important. We stated at our Financial Analyst Day that we're already investing heavily in 7 nanometer. 7 nanometer will be key for us on both the CPU and the GPU side, and I would say that development is progressing well. We're working with multiple foundries on that. We have multiple design teams that are working, and we expect that that will give us a strong competitive roadmap for the next several generations.
All right, thank you for that, Lisa. And a couple questions quickly for Devinder. I guess the first one is on share count. There was obviously some movement higher in the share count due to the in the in-the-money converts. Maybe you could talk us through if you were modeling maybe your business on a long term from an earnings power perspective, how would you think about modeling that share count? And then secondly, on the operating expense line, there's plenty to invest in here, but how should we think about that as we move through the year and into next year? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. I think on the share count, basically, beyond the basic shares, the dilutive impact comes from three components. You have the employee equity grants, you have the 75 million share warrant that we issued to Mubadala in 2016, and you have the 101 million shares underlying our 805 million convertible note. The good news is as you start making money and you get beyond inflection points, all of that gets included in the dilute share count. So I think given what we have laid out as guidance, in particular in the financial analyst day, the assumption should be as you model profitability in the company, those shares get included. We have provided color in the commentary, and for Q3, we are estimating that the total share count is about $1.14 billion. As far as the OPEX is concerned, we are obviously, with the strength in the business, performing stronger. We are making targeted investments, particularly in R&D. We have included and invested in targeted R&D areas. And also in 2017, I think there are some employee-related performance incentives that are included in our current guidance, given the fact that the business is performing stronger than anticipated. Lisa, anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, I think you covered it, Devinder. On the investment front, Matt, just to give you a little bit more color on that, I think we see tremendous opportunity in the data center around both CPU and GPU compute, and so we're taking the opportunity with some of the strength in the business to make sure we lean into those resources and fully pay off the product investments.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next question today is coming from Ross Seymour from Deutsche Bank. Please proceed with your question.
Hi, thanks for letting me ask a question. Lisa, one for you first on the client ASPs. I know the Ryzen side, the mix had to go up, and those carry much better ASPs, but the client category as a whole, the ASPs went down. So if you just think about going forward, when do the size of the buckets work that the Ryzen contribution will be big enough to offset whatever was the headwind against that in the second quarter?
Yeah, good question, Ross. When you take a look at our client business, think of it as desktop and mobile, and then within the desktop segment, it's channel and OEM. So Ryzen performed very well. I think the ASP contribution is very evident on the desktop line item. But when we look at where we are in the progression of the Ryzen rollout, we're still in the early innings. So we had our first full quarter of Ryzen desktop in the channel. The OEMs launched their desktop products in about mid-June, and so they just started selling at the end of June, and that will flow through into the second half of the year. And the mobile products are still our legacy products. So you saw the mobile ASPs were down slightly as we went from Q1 to Q2, and that was just a mix on some of the legacy business. But the desktop ASPs were quite strong, and we should expect that as we go into the second half of the year, and we have Ryzen really take off in the OEM sectors, as well as once we introduce Ryzen Mobile towards the second half of the year is when you'll see sort of more of the full portfolio over to Ryzen. Does that help?
It does. And a related follow-up on that is just transitioning those ASP and mix commentaries over to the actual gross margin. The full-year revenue guidance is increased again. Just recently you guys did it at the analyst meeting. Now you're doing it again, so that's clearly a positive. It seems like the C&G side of things is what's driving that, given your commentary and the game console side being down. So given everything you just said about the mix improving in the back half of the year and the revenues now being higher, I'm a little surprised the gross margin guidance didn't change for the year. So if we translate everything you just said, Lisa, to a gross margin dynamic, can you help us kind of make all of that make sense as well?
Yes. So I think you summarized the revenue guidance well. I think we see the computing and graphics business accelerating on the strength of the new products. We do have a bit of a year-over-year headwind when we compare game consoles. When you look at our Q3, margin guidance, we are certainly up year-over-year 3 points, and so I think that's the strength of the product portfolio. I think as we get into the Q4 guidance, we'll talk more about the margin progression. But what we expected in terms of margin expansion, with the premium products, is certainly playing out, and that's helping the Q3 guide.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question today is coming from David Wong from Wells Fargo. Please proceed with your question.
Thanks very much. Can you give us some idea of whether your September guidance assumes any meaningful contribution from Vega sales for gaming in the September quarter?
Yes, David. We will be launching Vega actually in a week at SIGGRAPH, and yes, there will be Vega will be shipping into gaming, into professional workstations, as well as into the GPU compute segment in the third quarter.
And can you update us on your expectations for launch timing of Ryzen notebook chips, and if you expect there to be revenues from Ryzen notebook in December?
Yes. So Ryzen notebook is on track to launch for the holiday platform sales, and so you should see OEMs launching Ryzen Mobile for the holiday period. So yes, we will see revenue in the second half of the year.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David. Next question, please.
Our next question today is coming from Ambrish Srivastava from BMO Capital Markets. Please proceed with your question.
My question, first one was on free cash flow. It's negative again, and for the first half, minus the 420, if my math is right. So, Devender, when does free cash flow turn positive? And then I had a follow-up, please.
Yeah, I think 2016, if you go back and look at the full year, because of the seasonality of our business, we were positive. From a viewpoint of midpoint of 2017, we do see strength in the business. You're right, cash is down with the changes in working capital. It's largely driven by wafer purchases in support of the stronger second half, and in particular, the stronger business that we are seeing. We expect cash to be up for the quarter, this quarter, and to be free cash flow positive for the year.
Okay. And then my follow-up is, Lisa, on the crypto question that Mark had asked earlier. I'm not sure you gave an answer to, or maybe Mark didn't ask that. Are you seeing follow-on strength from that in the current quarter? And then why, and we realize it's not a core part of your business, but why or why not is it not similar to what happened in 2014? Thank you.
Sure, Ambrish. So I think from an overall standpoint, we see strong demand in graphics for the third quarter. I think that's a mix of a couple things. That's a mix of gaming being seasonally stronger in the third quarter. That's a mix of inventories being very low in the channel, and there is a crypto, probably a cryptocurrency component as well relative to overall demand. When we look at it as a whole, though, we think that the growth in the business is really on the strength of the products and how the design wins, both OEM and as well as system integrators, are improving. Now, how is it different than sort of a couple of years ago? I think we understand the market much better from the standpoint of the products are significantly stronger. And so if you look at the product portfolio, not just the current sort of Polaris or RX 5 series products, but the Vega product coming in really opens up a larger TAM for us. And we are working with our add-in board partners to segment the markets in terms of the feature set that go into the cards, as well as prioritizing some of the gamer ecosystem. So in terms of system integrator supply, as well as bundling and OEM supply. So I think we are doing quite a bit to make sure that we protect against any downside as it relates to cryptocurrency. But overall, I would view it as GPUs are strong, and we see GPUs continuing to be strong, and so it's a great market to be in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Our next question today is coming from Kevin Cassidy from Stifel. Please proceed with your question.
Thanks for taking my question, and maybe just as a follow-up to that, with inventories being down going into this quarter, and with all your new product ramps, is it down mainly just because of GPUs, or is there something else?
I think it's if you look at the inventory, in fact, if you look at it from my standpoint, the strength of the business, there's revenue growth. we are obviously buying wafers in support of the stronger revenue. Some of the ramp in new products does have an impact on the inventory, and obviously we want to support all of the new product ramps. It's down marginally in the quarter, but I expect that in Q3 it'll go down. And then we have previously guided down year over year. So I expect when we end the year, it'll be down in 2017 compared to 2016, while fully supporting the needs of the business.
Okay, and I guess for the server side, how are you building inventory for that, or is that a longer design cycle so that you don't really start building inventory?
Go ahead.
I think the server side
for the EPYC.
it's a smaller portion. I mean, the ramp in EPYC, as you probably heard us say, is slower than in other businesses. So if you look at it total inventory, the server portion of the inventory is not not that huge.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question today comes from Vivek Arya from Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Please proceed with your question.
Thanks for taking my question, and congratulations on the good sales growth. Lisa, for my first question, if I go back in history, at one point AMD had a 20% plus share in server CPUs, and I appreciate we are far off from that point right now. But I just want to know conceptually, what are you doing or can do to recreate those conditions, or do you think the environment is very different this time around?
Yeah, Vivek, I think we are actually very pleased with sort of the conditions around the server market for us. I mean, it all starts as a good product or a great product, and so I think the EPYC product performance is very important. But I think the other conditions that are different and perhaps even more favorable than in the past is the fact that the cloud data center guys are making up such a large piece of the market, and they tend to move faster in their qualification cycles, given the fact that they have sort of more control of their own software environment. So I think our differentiation is strong. I think we have put out a product that is not only strong on basic CPU performance, but also offers much more flexibility in terms of what you can do with memory and I/O. I think that value proposition is recognized by the customer set. So we certainly are looking to ramp the revenue as fast as possible.
Got it. And for my follow-up, as you are starting to become more competitive against Intel and NVIDIA, are you seeing any competitive response from them in terms of pricing or features or go-to-market strategy that you might need to respond to?
Obviously we continue to watch the competitive market. It's been an exciting market. Some would say that from a product standpoint, there has been a bit of back and forth already. We feel good about how our products are positioned, not just today, but how they will be positioned over the next 18 to 24 months. And so we're going to be very focused on ensuring that we lead with the product message. Of course, there's a go-to-market element and all of that around that. But I think the competitive environment right now is very focused on product competitiveness.
And maybe a quick follow-up on that, Lisa, if I might. When Ryzen initially rolled out, I think some of the benchmarks were not up to par. Have you seen an improvement in that? And especially as you roll out EPYC, are you seeing the ecosystem come and work around your products so those benchmarks are not going to be an issue this time around?
Yeah, so I think, Vivek, you're referring to when we initially launched Ryzen 7, there were some games, particularly in 1080p resolution, that were not as good as some of the higher resolutions. And I believe we worked around a lot of that. We've seen game developers, content developers really sort of support the Ryzen ecosystem. I've actually been very happy with how they've jumped on the support of it. We have been continuing to improve the ecosystem. So if you look at the motherboards and if you look at the memory capability, they've significantly improved just in the last 3 or 4 months. I think you'll see as we go through Threadripper launch, which is coming up very shortly, that the Ryzen ecosystem is strong. And as it relates to EPYC, I think the very similar comments. I think the ecosystem has been very supportive of the EPYC processor family, and so I don't see that as an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Tweaks had to be made.
Next question, please.
Ryzen,
Our next
they're
question is
adjusting
coming
to it.
from
It's
Joe
going to be
Moore
good.
from Morgan Stanley. Please proceed
So
with
it's
your
only
question.
getting better.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, great, thank you. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about, as we think about EPYC for next year, how do you think we should frame that opportunity? Is it mostly a cloud, sort of top-tier cloud customer that's going to drive that revenue? Is the sort of next level down of cloud customer going to drive significant revenue, and then enterprise next year? I mean, how would you sort of bucket those three things in terms of where the EPYC potential lies?
Yeah, I would say, Joe, we have a broad set of customers that we're engaging with. So, definitely we see top-tier cloud guys very engaged with EPYC, and talking about a number of different instances. Microsoft Azure was at our launch event, and Baidu was at our launch event, and we're working with a number of other cloud vendors as well. But we also have a very strong OEM support base as well. So with HPE and Dell putting out a number of platforms with EPYC, I think that will ramp enterprise customers in 2018 as well. So I view it as really both sides of the equation are important for 2018. I think we will see cloud be a little lumpier. So certainly they tend to buy in stages. So they may be a little bit lumpier, but I think overall we are very focused on both cloud and enterprise accounts.
Okay, thank you for that. And then circling back quickly to the inventory issues that you talked about in graphics, it seems like they're quite lean, and in some cases in shortage. Is that completely a function of demand? Were there any supply issues in the quarter? And how quickly, do you perceive that as an issue? And if so, like how quickly do you fix it?
Yeah, Joe, it was completely a function of demand, and demand within lead time. I think from a supply standpoint, we've had a very strong supply chain across the board, across both CPU and GPUs. We are, as I said, in the process of catching up to demand, and so we're certainly increasing some of the production, and that was Devinder's comment about some of the working capital and some of the inventory comments. Overall, though, I think we're going into a stronger second half of the year, so it's not unexpected for us to ramp up production. It's just demand was quite strong, particularly in the April-May timeframe is when we saw a spike, and it takes some time to react to those signals.
Great, thank you very much.
I agree with financial investors. There's lots of.
Hans Mosesman from
It depends on the type of investor you are. I think I agree with that.
Thanks. Hey, Lisa, can you give us a sense of how EPYC is doing in virtualized environments? There might be some issues regarding compatibility with the other x86 supplier, and how you would go through that process over the next several quarters. Thank you.
Yeah, again, Hans, I think we have been working closely with a number of different customers, including in virtualized environments. We see no particular issues other than just getting their platforms up and running, and so I think we continue to believe EPYC will do very well in those environments.
Okay, and then as a follow-up, can you give us a sense, and now that EPYC is out, what the feedback is from your customers, cloud or OEM, regarding your packaging approach in terms of using a multi-chip module type approach versus a monolithic silicon approach?
Yeah, Hans, the feedback has been actually quite good, and I think what we're able to do, obviously it's a decision to make, right? We could have built one big monolithic chip, or we decided very strategically to build a modular approach, because it just gives us so much flexibility when we talk about the combination of CPU cores and I/O. So so far so good. I think there is some work to do to make sure that the latencies are appropriately taken care of, and the customers are working with us on that. I think the flexibility is really, really appreciated, particularly when you look at what we can do with single socket servers as well. So we feel very good about where EPYC is positioned. I think the customer feedback continues to be very strong, and our goal is to get as many platforms out as possible with EPYC this year.
Stock's looking good.
Great, thank you.
Up over 9%, like almost 9.5.
Thank you. Our next question today is coming from John Pitzer from Credit Suisse. Please proceed with your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for letting me ask the question, and congratulations on the strong results. Lisa, notwithstanding the possibility that you guys beat your revised guidance you just gave today, if you just go by the revised guidance, it's kind of implying calendar fourth quarter revenue down about 10% sequentially, which is about in line with seasonal. Just kind of curious, just given where you are in the product cycle for Ryzen and EPYC, why a seasonal quarter wouldn't be something that you could beat? And I guess equally important, are you planning to stay profitable in the calendar fourth quarter if it is down seasonal, just given the trajectory of OpEx?
Yeah. So yes, John. Let me answer that. When you look at our typical seasonality, as you said, we tend to be down in Q4. Semi-custom is still a large piece of our business, and semi-custom will peak in Q3 and it will come down in Q4. I also think that we want to be cognizant of the fact that some of the graphics demand that we see might be temporal. So we're not counting on that staying through the full year. We'll see what happens. Frankly, I think we'll see what happens with the whole mining stuff. But I think when you look overall, I think that it shows that the business is strengthening, and so we like the growth very much. Ryzen will continue to grow through the second half. EPYC will continue to grow through the second half. Vega and our GPU business will continue to grow through the second half. And the only headwind that we have is sort of the game console business, just as part of normal seasonality. And then relative to the profit statement.
I think it's hard to predict that right now, John. I think if you look at our guidance, as we said, revenue, mid to high teens, which from our standpoint is 16, 17-ish increase, and we'll get to Q4 when we get there.
That's helpful. And then Lisa, for my follow-up, R&D ticking up, which is absolutely the right thing to do for the longer-term health of the business. But I'm just kind of curious if you could help me understand your sort of R&D priorities. To what extent is this uptick in R&D really to help bolster your position in existing markets versus sort of R&D dollars to go after new markets, whether that be acceleration, machine learning, or autonomous driving? How should I think about that?
Yeah, so I think there are a couple points, John, that I want to make sure that we're clear about. Although OpEx is going up and R&D is going up, we're doing it in a very thoughtful fashion. And so staying within the confines of the business model is really important. And as Devinder said earlier, our model that we laid out at Financial Analyst Day for 2017 has us, let's call it at approximately 31% E/R, and we're going to stay within that model for sure. Now, relative to priorities in R&D, it is very much focused on sort of the new growth areas for us, very much focused on data center, and very much focused on GPU compute, so around machine learning and sort of the entire compute space on the GPU side. It is fairly incremental in terms of adding things like customer support, field application engineering, software support. Given that we're familiarizing people with our architecture. So I think it's good. We're happy that the business affords us the ability to increase R&D in this time frame, and we're using it to accelerate our growth in these high margin markets.
Thank you.
To the comments, my girlfriend won't make a move unless she's had the stock for over a year. I don't think I'm as well disciplined as she is, but I try to do that.
Yeah, hi, thanks. Dr. Lisa, when you look at
Cheers, financial investor.
I know you said 20 customers already and then 20 more in the second half. Do you think that gets to 5% of your revenues, just the EPYC side of your revenues as you look at the third quarter? And should we assume, pretty incrementally about, not the 50% margins on your EPYC product, especially as it goes in the data center side?
So, Vijay, without getting too granular about percentage of EPYC revenue, I think what we've said is our target for EPYC, we sort of have the midterm target is to get back to double-digit market share, so over 10%. We think that we have a product and a customer set and an environment that does support that. It will take longer than this year to get there. So, I think this is a multiple quarter ramp for us. But in terms of how we've laid out the business model, I mean that's all contemplated sort of in our overall growth model for 2017. As it relates to margins, again, without being very specific, I would say the EPYC margins are highly accretive, even at our current sort of pricing, which offers, I would say, significant value to the customer. I think it also gives us significant credit for the capability of the product, and so the margins are accretive to our business model.
Got it. Very helpful. Just on the Radeon Instinct side too, can you give us some similar commentary on how you see in terms of customer adoption, and what the response has been similar to EPYC?
Yes. The Radeon Instinct similarly has a lot of interest from the marketplace. A number of different applications. We started shipping actually in July to some strategic data center customers. We see that interest continue to ramp. There, I think it is. This is definitely a lumpy business, and so it goes as a cloud guy puts on a new instance, you would see a larger buy, and that's the way it would work. But again, very good market. I think we're in the very early part of the growth trajectory for AMD in these markets, and we'll continue to invest and work closely with customers to ramp those platforms.
I try to model my investing
Thank you. Our final
kind of more
question
towards
today is coming
Stalker,
from
to be
Blayne
honest.
Curtis
Like,
from Barclays. Please
I think he
proceed with
does
your
it
question.
the right way, to be honest.
Hey guys, thanks for squeezing me in. Lisa, I just want to follow up on
I get
your
tempted
comments
by
on the
Robinhood.
cryptocurrency market.
It's
Just
not good.
curious, what's your visibility
There's no
into
commission
whether
fees.
someone, obviously if they buy a dedicated card, it'd be easy to track. Just your visibility on the back end as to where the strength in the overall GPU market is coming from. You mentioned it as a third factor, I think, in September, but then mentioned it may impact December. And if you can just talk about in that full year guide, are you factoring in any contribution in December?
I'm not that great at it
But
either.
we're being conservative in our estimates for what will happen as we get fourth quarter. I think the visibility is it's not it's anyone's guess at this moment. However, I think what we are doing very clearly is prioritizing sort of the core customer set so that we're segmenting the market. You can never segment it perfectly, but I think we are segmenting it well, and we continue to be very closely in tune with our partners and how this develops. And my expectation is that there will be a leveling off of the demand at some point, and as we fill the channel, that will become clear what the level off point is. But right now, as we said, the channel inventories are very low, and so it's hard to call the absolute demand, and we're ensuring that we're not overcalling the demand.
Thanks. And then just a question for Devinder. The OpEx step up in September, it's hard to tell from the full year guide. 31 can round a bunch of different ways. Just curious if you expect any follow through in that increase in R&D into the December quarter. And then if you could just mention also timing of the JV payments. Obviously, you're not getting any in the back half of this year. Maybe you can talk about the milestones into next year and when those should come back as offsets.
Yeah, let me take the JV one first. I mean, as we said in the commentary in my prepared remarks, $140 million licensing gain from the Tactics server JV today. We got $52 million this year, and there's nothing more this year. The remaining payments are based on some production-related milestones, and those are in 2018 and beyond, and we'll update that as we get closer. As far as the OpEx is concerned, I think we've said a lot, and we stand by what we said. We'll manage within our guidance of expense to revenue ratio of approximately 31% for the year.
Yeah, the problem with commission costs is that
Thank you.
if you
We
keep
reached the end of
buying
our
on
question
dips,
and
which
answer
is like
session.
what
I'd
I
like to turn
do,
the floor back over to
I
management
buy
for
more
further
and more
closing
stock
comments.
whenever it dips.
Great. Thank you very much,
The
operator. We
commission
appreciate
fees
everyone
add up,
being
and
with
that's
us
kind of
with
what I
us
think that's
today.
what
We look
financial
forward to
investors are
spending
saying.
this time with
I
you
agree
in the
with
coming
that.
quarter, and thank
So
you for your
Robinhood
time.
is good in that sense, I guess.
Thank you. That does conclude
It
today's
depends. It all
teleconference. You may
depends.
disconnect your line at this time and have a wonderful day. We thank you for your participation today.
Okay, I guess that's it. All right, cool. So let's see. So pretty good earnings call, guys. So let's see. Let's take a look at the stock. I think we did pretty damn good. So over 9% we did. And it looks like right now we're at $15.39. So it's looking pretty good. Let's see here. You guys are commenting a lot about Robinhood versus like other platforms. Let's see. Thing with Robinhood is that it doesn't offer options really. That's it. Now it's a waiting game. Yeah, Blue TJ. Yeah, now it's a waiting game. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know. I think the stock will probably continue to do well into tomorrow, and then we might start to see maybe some profit taking. We'll have to see, but it is up. It is up a really good amount today, guys. Like, I'm so happy. It's definitely up a really nice amount. This is like exactly what we asked for. I mean, think about when AMD was like completely pulling back when during the whole tech sell off, and when AMD was struggling and they completely like dipped, and after the Q1 earnings call and all that. And think about all the people that were advocating to sell and were just panicking and getting out. Look at how we just bounced right back up, guys. So it's just, something to think about, because I think people panic so easily, man. Like, and look at how easy. What I did, I bought, and I told you, like, I'm not trying to brag, but like I mentioned that I was buying more when it dipped, and I'm glad I did, because it clearly just bounced right back up. There was so many things to look forward to with AMD, and their whole portfolio isn't even really out yet. So there's still so many things to look forward to. Q3 is going to be key. Q4 is going to be key, and if we do well there, I'm still holding my price target around $20 going into next year. So and now that we killed it in this earnings, so could even be higher. Like I would maybe even raise it, but it looks like we did pretty good. So let's see here. And and you guys are talking a lot about like day trading versus long-term investing. Let's see. I gotta catch up on these comments, because I was trying to like pay attention to the earnings call, but I was also trying to pay attention to the comments, and it was kind of hard to listen to both. But let me see. This is my first time doing this, by the way, so I apologize if like my whole structure is kind of messed up. But let's see. See, Blue TJ, I panicked so much when it dipped, but luckily YouTube suggested me your video and we had a little conversation. That's cool, man. I'm glad that you're an awesome subscriber, man. Thank you for hanging out. You basically hung out like the whole earnings call, so thank you so much for hanging out, man. I really appreciate that. If my YouTube channel ever gets big, I can say, Blue TJ was there from the beginning, so I appreciate that. Let's see, and then someone else here, I also bought more, and a smiley face. Yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad you did. Or I don't know. I'm assuming you're a guy, but you could be. I don't know. But but yeah, I'm glad that you bought more, and that's awesome. I can't tell what your name is because I'm not sure what kind of language that is. But let's see here. Thanks, bud. These are my first stock market experiences. Only started in January. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad that you're doing great. I mean, for starting in only January, sounds like you're doing all the right things. I mean, you just listened to an entire earnings call. Like, how many people jump into the stock market, this soon, just in January, and listen to an entire earnings call stream? It's like, I can tell you, not very many people. I mean, this stream alone, I think it only got like around 20 viewers or something, like maybe 25 viewers, I think, at most. So I think you're doing all the right things. You're gonna be successful, man. To be honest, I really think you'll be successful. Let's see here. Earnings calls are fun. I love listening to them. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Stalker. And dude, it's kind of cool. Like, some of you guys, because some of these guys are experts. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't checked out their channels, I highly recommend it. These are some of the people that I really like. Stalker. Stalker's he's really good, to be honest, and I try to model like a lot of my investing after him as well. Financial Investor is also a really cool channel, and Stocks on Horses as well. So we had some feedback from some experts, so this was kind of cool. Like, so now you guys know, if you guys ever join in on these live streams, you guys might can get free opinions from basically some experts, in my opinion. I mean, these guys are better than analysts, to be honest. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and then Stalker says, sorry for jumping in late. Wanted to finish up AT&T earnings call. Yeah, no, it's totally cool, man. I was and a couple people saying thanks for the shout out. Yeah, no problem, man. Like I have no problem giving you guys shout outs. We're all doing the same thing here, so and yeah, no, I was trying to listen to I wanted to listen to the AT&T one as well. We just had that recent poll question, and it seemed like everybody on All Is World was very bullish on AT&T, and it looks like they did well, so that's good. Let's see here, 1549. Let me see, stock price. 1554, guys. We're 1 cent away from the 52-week high, right? I believe we're 1 cent away. Dude, we're up over 10%, guys. Like, oh man, is there ever a better feeling than just proving everybody wrong? Like, I don't mean to be like a jerk, but it's always nice when you have a bunch of bears kind of calling you out, and then you come out with the earnings report and then you jump 10%. That's always nice. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, man. Stocks on Horses. Yeah, I love your videos, man. I love anything that gives me a different point of view on things. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I like, trust me, guys. I watch your guys' videos. I don't mean to, I don't know. I guess I don't mean to brag, but like, I hit the like button on a lot of you guys' videos. I really enjoy them. Let's see. I made such a huge mistake of buying more just before the dip out of greed. And I'm almost at. Oh, like I guess he's like breaking even after months of sleepless nights. Feels good, man. Yeah. So now you're. How are you doing right now, Blue TJ? Like I'm curious. Do you? I don't know if you don't mind sharing like how your AMD stock, how much it's up. Mine's up like a pretty good amount now, like another 10%, dude. I'm doing really well, and I convinced my girlfriend to invest in AMD when when we had that huge dip, and I convinced her to buy some AMD, and that was when everybody was panicking and everybody was like, I had a couple people calling me like an idiot for investing in AMD, but I told my girlfriend to invest in it, and I'm sure she is really happy right now. She's gonna have a really nice profit, but like I mentioned, she doesn't sell until at least a year for tax purposes, but also just because fundamentally, I always tell her to be a long-term investor. I always tell her like, don't ever. Not that there's anything wrong with being a day trader or anything like that. Like I'm not like talking trash on or anything like that. But just fundamentally, my point of view is I think long-term investing is better, and I try to be that, but I struggle sometimes to be that. But I try my best to be that, to be a long-term investor. But Robinhood kind of tempted me with a few stocks, to be honest. Like I made some changes, and looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have made those changes, but it is what it is. Just gotta move forward. So let's see here. Yeah, I'm excited with where AT&T is going. Strong quarter for them, and I'm definitely excited for their future. Yeah, AT&T is a good stock, man. You could just hold AT&T. Like you could just hold it for a really long time, man. Like as long as you want. Could you recommend more source to learn from? I am new to stock market. So other sources, well, there's some experts here. So if you just kind of look through these comments, you're going to see that some of these guys are really educated and some of them have YouTube channels. So that's one source. I would also say there's a couple of channels out there that are really good. This guy, Ryan, he has a pretty good channel. Ryan Scribner? I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, but he's pretty good. He recently just blew up, guys. Like I don't know if you guys are subscribed to Ryan, but dude, he went from like, I don't know, did he go from like 10,000 to like 40,000 like in a week? Like that was crazy, man. He just jumped up, like it's crazy. It's kind of funny, like if you can get like a couple really good videos out there. Let me see. He had a video get 600,000 views. Yeah, I think I saw that, dude. When I saw it, I think it was at like 400,000 or something. But now it's over 500,000. I mean, that's crazy, man. AMD is 1560. Randy, let's see. Let's check it out. Let's see here. We're at 1562, guys. We broke the 52-week high. So that is freaking awesome, dude. Man, that is so nice. The Monk Way. What's up, Monk? That's my YouTube mentor, man. I always call him my mentor. He says, Ryan really knows what he's doing. His advice on YouTube is like all gold. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, another guy, though, financial education. I love that guy. That's like one of the first like financial YouTubers that I started following. I'm sure a lot of these people started with him too. Jeremy, his name is Jeremy. That guy's freaking awesome. Like I love that channel, and I wish he would do more live streams. Like I really like it when he does live streams, but I think he only does it like once a month. But I'm kind of liking this live stream, guys, because honestly, dude, I watch earning calls like by myself, and whenever I tell my friends to have a beer and listen to one, like they never want to, because to me, I think of earnings calls like kind of like a sporting event. Like I just want to hang out and just have a beer and just kind of talk about it, and a lot of my friends like don't even care about investing, to be honest. Like I'm usually kind of the loner in that sense. So this was really cool, just kind of hanging out with you guys and just going, like, I'm surprised we got so many viewers, and I'm surprised we're getting so many comments and everything. This is really cool. Like, I think you guys are really supporting the channel, and that's really awesome, dude. I really appreciate that, everybody. Let's see here. I'm like falling behind on the comments. So, okay, so Blue TJ, let me check, but I'm not at break even yet. I bought less than 50 when it was less than $10, and out of pure inexperience, I bought tons more at around 14. Says, which is like $15 to $16 or something. I break even at 13.55. Okay, yeah, so which is almost at. Yeah, okay, no, dude, you're good, because to be honest, Blue TJ, I think I could see it going to around 20, probably more. We had a really good earnings call, guys. Like the stock is gonna shoot up, and we might see some profit taking and things like that, and that's to be expected. But with all the news that's kind of coming out, it looks like we're doing really well, and I could see us doing more than 20 by the end of the year. So we'll see. So I think you're good, Blue TJ, to be honest. All right, let's see here. I'm thinking. Okay, here, Luke. I'm thinking about making a YouTube channel myself to talk about finance. You inspired me a lot with all the stuff you do. Dude, I'm really glad I could inspire you. I highly recommend it. I want to make a video on like my experience with YouTube, because there's so many different ways you could look at it, but I feel like YouTube kind of depends on how much time you have. Well, to be honest, like, man, there's just so many things I could talk about. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'll just kind of share like some tips right now, like based off of what I've seen. I gain the most subscribers when I upload a video every day. So if there's like a tip I could give, it would be to make videos constantly. However, there's an issue with that, because it depends on how much time you have available. Because if you don't have a lot of time and you're trying to do a video every day, you're probably going to find yourself doing like poor quality videos. And so in that case, I wouldn't really recommend it. Like, and I'll give you an example, but like, I don't know how much time Monk has, the Monk way. I don't know how much time he has, but he doesn't do a video every day, and he's seen like huge growth on his channel. Like, he's done very well, and I think that's because his videos are pretty high quality. So there's just so many different ways you could look at it. Like, if you have enough time to invest into YouTube, then, and you can do a video a day and it can still be pretty good quality, then I would say probably take that route. But maybe if you don't have as much time, or if you want your videos to be really high quality, then take your time and just produce really high quality videos every once in a while, and that should drive in like a lot of audience. So Luke, if you ever need any advice or help, let me know. You could also ask Monk. He's like, I call him like the YouTube mentor, because he's always giving advice. So he's also someone that you could ask for advice. Let's see here. The Monk says, haha, Ryan's my mentor, so you're getting filtered advice. That's funny, from the Monk. Says, financial education was the first one I followed too. Yeah, I think financial education was the first one I followed, and then I saw from there, I think I got recommended Ryan, and then when I started my YouTube channel, the way I found other financial channels was that when I started my YouTube channel, I started getting comments from other financial channels, and that's a good way to network, by the way. Whatever your style is, and that was how I found other financial channels as well. But yeah, I kind of started out with financial education and Ryan. I kind of wish they did more stock videos, to be honest, but I really like their channels. Like, I'm a big fan of their channels. Let's see here. And they're good. By the way, they're good like overall, like for overall financial advice and overall financial videos. Like they're top notch, to be honest. Let's see here. Stalker, live streaming seems fun. I definitely want to start doing that when I get more subs. Yeah, Stalker, you should absolutely do that. I'll come join, dude, and I'll try to give some advice, or I'll hang out with you. But yeah, it's pretty fun, man. Like, I don't know, I'm having a good time. I don't know, I'm having a beer. So cheers to all the bulls out there who's ever bullish on AMD. We did good today, so. All right, let's see what other comments we got. Blue TJ, I'm less than 0.45% before break even. Very relieving. Yeah, dude, you're golden. Like, I think you're solid. I think you're gonna do just fine. And even if there's dips, Blue TJ, like, don't get scared off, man. Like, I mean, you do your own thing. Like, take your own advice and make your own decisions. But try not to get scared off if there's dips, because if there's one lesson that I've learned is that I should not get scared off whenever there's dips and things like that. And I have been scared off in the past, long time ago. I would get scared off a couple times when I first started investing, and this is like the biggest mistakes I've ever made. And then some of those stocks just like skyrocketed, so I regret it. But just do your own thing though. Like, I think you know what you're doing. You can make your own choices. I think you'll be good. Let's see here. Don't have a lot, but over 200% up. Nice. Klaus Hansen. Don't have a lot, but over 200% up. That sounds pretty damn good. Let's see here. Stalker. None of my friends care about investing. I love listening to the earnings calls, but I always do it just sitting in my room. Yeah, I know, man. Tell me about it. I'm always... Dude, I've actually I have like a speaker in my shower and stuff. So like when I'm shaving and stuff, like I'll listen to an earnings call. When I'll take a shower and I'll listen to an earnings call. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I'll listen to an earnings call. Like I try to fit in, because they can be long. So I try to fit them in whenever I'm doing something, and I can just kind of listen to it in the background. I've even listened to earnings calls like while driving, because I mean you don't have to see anything, so you can just listen to it in the background. But there's so many ways that you can kind of fit it in. And I think it's a great way to learn, and you just kind of get a feeling for it. And I remember I think it was Blue TJ said that he would be so nervous if he was Lisa Su and getting like these questions and having to run a company. And yeah, and like one of my business classes right now, I'm like they're kind of treating us as if we're running a company, and we have to write like a lot of business memos and essays, and like we have to like deal with a lot of we have to write business memos as if we're the CEO or in charge of the company, and we have to deal with company issues and all kinds of different things, and it's fun. Like I like it, but some people are really stressed out about it. And he doesn't grade that easy either. He grades kind of hard, but I've been doing good, so I'm not worried about it. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's see, Blue TJ. I just hope many people hold instead of selling directly. Yeah, I mean it depends, dude. Like, I could definitely see some profit taking, and that's happened a lot of times. That happened with Nintendo for me. There was definitely some profit taking with Nintendo. I'm pretty damn sure of it, and that hurt our stock a little bit, and it's been dipping. Now there's other concerns going on with Nintendo, so now I'm worried about the earnings call, which is actually supposed to be, the earnings report is supposed to be tomorrow, I believe, and now I'm a little worried because there's a few concerns. But either way, I can just hold it. Like it's not a big deal. I'll hold it. As far as Nintendo goes, Pokemon is coming the following year. Probably the following year. Probably the end of 2018, possibly into 2019. But when that comes out, guys, I'm just telling you now. Like I'm not telling you guys what to do, but I'm calling it now. Nintendo stock is gonna like go up massively when Pokemon comes to the Switch. People are gonna buy that thing like crazy. I mean, people really underestimate the power of Pokemon. As dumb as it sounds, because it's like Pokemon, like that was for kids, but you underestimate it, guys. Like people, look at how good, look at how much publicity Pokemon Go got. Like that's, I mean, and that's just Pokemon Go. Like, and that game sucks, to be honest. In my opinion, it's not a good game. They don't even have like trading and battling in that thing. If they added that, it would probably be a lot better, but they don't. But look at how good that did, and even Nintendo stock actually reflected that. And Nintendo doesn't even own the Pokemon company. Like they own like a piece of it, but they don't even own it. So it's kind of crazy how some of these things can affect it. So don't underestimate like the power of certain products when you know something's gonna do good. Dude, I'm really behind on the comments. Okay, sorry guys. Let me try to catch up here. Let's see. Keep the good work. Thanks for all of your tips. You're welcome, man. No problem. Thanks for watching. Like, so many people say thank you to me, and I feel like I should be thanking them. Like, you guys are doing me the favor. Like, I enjoy this. I don't even like. There's not really anything else I'd rather be doing. I do have like a bunch of homework and stuff to do for my masters, but I don't feel like doing it. So, all right, let's see here. Uploading a lot is important. I'm on vacation. This is from Stalker. Uploading a lot is important. I'm on vacation, so I can barely upload, which sucks. Yeah, I mean, have you thought about like, yeah, I mean, it'd be hard because like if you wanted to prep up, if you wanted to do some kind of prep for a video, if you wanted to do some research and stuff like that, I mean, I don't know what your situation is. If you don't have your laptop and you can't be like completely researching everything and make sure that you make like a well-educated and well-informed video, then it can be very hard to make videos on vacation. I had a job recently where I was traveling. I was traveling all the time for work, and I had to stay in hotels all the time. And I wasn't doing YouTube at that time, but if I was doing YouTube, I mean, it would have been difficult. Like, I would probably have to take like I have like portable lighting and stuff like that, so I would probably have to take in that, and then obviously just take my laptop and just do research there and try to set up and everything. But it can be hard. I mean, I don't know. I think Jeremy from Financial Education, one time he was on vacation, I think he did like a live stream. I believe he did like a live stream of himself. Was it a live stream? I think it was a live stream. Damn, I don't know. Now I can't remember. It was either a live stream or he was just kind of recording himself with the cell phone. But he was like walking in his backyard. I don't know if you guys remember that, but he was like walking in his backyard. I think it was like a stock market weekly recap video or something like that. And he was walking in his backyard and he was just recording himself and he was just talking. And I remember, like, I just kind of want to mention this. I remember in that video he said, he was talking about, I think he was talking about GoPro. I'm not sure. It was like one of his stocks that people kind of criticize him for. And he was like, yeah, man, like, he was like, you know, I'm just like, I'm sick of people like talking like, you know, I think like, I think he said talking, I think he said talking crap or something like that, but or shit, I don't know. But he said like, I'm sick of people talking like so much, you know, stuff like on GoPro, like, and I felt for him, dude. Like he gets way more like people are really nice to him for sure, and he gets really good feedback. But with GoPro, like some people are kind of mean about it, dude. Like some people are like, oh, like you're gonna lose all your money. Like investing in GoPro is a really horrible idea. Like I don't really agree with that, but it just depends. I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion about GoPro, but I just remember that because there were other times where I made videos and I got like negative reactions with AMD, for example. I had people telling me that I was an idiot for investing in AMD, and so yeah, I mean, there's times where I want to be like, man, why is everybody like so mean about this? You know, it's like we're all here trying to like learn together. We're all here trying to make investing fun, right? So like talking trash on each other, like that's not a good thing, you know. But it is what it is. All right. Sorry, I just went off on a rant. So let's see here. Dude, I'm so far behind on the comments. All right. Financial investor. I did get 3 people to start with Robinhood. I think he's talking about Robinhood. Got Sprint and 2 Ford stocks. Thanks, Robinhood. Oh, because he probably. Oh, nice. So he probably got free stocks. I think if you have Robinhood, if you recommend Robinhood to someone else, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe you both get a free share. I've never tried it. I think when I got my girlfriend to get Robinhood, it was not offered. I don't think it was. I think maybe it might be seasonal, like might be certain times that they offer it, but I'm not sure. But if you guys have Robinhood, you should probably recommend it to other people because you can get like a free share of a stock, I think. And it looks like Financial Investor got 2 Ford stocks and 1 Sprint. Not bad for free, you know, like that's pretty good. Yeah, it's actually really good. So, all right, let's see here. Monk, I have a lot of time, but I've been getting lazy. The key is some specific videos that get huge views. Yeah, definitely. If you can get like a video to go, you know, maybe not viral, but like a fraction of viral or something, and get it to get like a lot of views, it can be really good. And yeah, in some of Monk's videos, they get like tons of views, guys. Like some of them have a lot of views. John, let's see here. Up 11%. This stock deserves this, especially because a lot of hate over the recent months. Yeah, dude, tell me about it, man. Like, so many people just talking trash on it. And yeah, dude, we're up over 11%. Nice. We're at $15.67. Dude, like how happy are you guys right now? Like, are you guys you guys are investing in AMD, right? Like, if you guys are watching my channel, you might be investing in AMD. The monk says I want a beer now. Yeah, dude, you should get one, man. Let's see here. Okay, Blue TJ says AMD is such a nice consumer-friendly company compared to competitors. Gotta love them. You know what, dude? That's actually a really good comment because, and I'll tell you why. I think that the average person really wants AMD to succeed right now, and I guess maybe average person isn't the right word, but when it comes to, how can I put this? When it comes to like the high-end kind of gaming market and high-end, like the high-end CPU and GPU market, especially with the CPU market, and especially with Ryzen, like Ryzen Threadripper, for example, a lot of people really want it to succeed because they're sick of paying. They're sick of like the monopoly of Intel, and they're sick of paying prices. They're sick of overpaying prices to Intel because there's no other competition. So I think that that's a great comment. Like, I think a lot of people really want AMD to succeed, and when you've got people on your side as a company, oh man, like like profits can go like amazingly high. Like, your stock can just skyrocket. So having the public backing you up, that's huge, and that's one of the reasons. There's many reasons why I've invested in AMD, but that is one of the reasons. Because if you guys watch a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of like tech channels, not like financial channels, but tech channels, a lot of them really praise these AMD products that are coming out. I'm telling you guys, like, just look it up. If you don't believe me, like, look it up. They really support them, and it's because they want variety and they want competition. When you have competition, that's gonna make Intel try harder and lower prices. So you're gonna probably end up with better performance and cheaper prices. So like, competition is always a good thing, right? Everybody always says that. So I think that people want AMD to succeed, and that's a big deal. In my opinion, I think that's a big deal. So, oh man, I'm so far behind in the comments. Okay, so let's see here. Blue TJ, I have learned to not panic so much and think more rationally. That's good, man. You're learning. You're doing good. Stalker, dips are great in a stock if you like it. I love when I buy a stock and then it goes down 5% or more for no reason. Great time to buy more. Yeah. I mean, I see that all the time, man. Like, some stocks just go down for almost no reason, and yeah, I definitely try to take advantage of that. It's kind of crazy how it works sometimes. Everyone gets scared when they start off negative 4%. People sell off crazy and rebuy back in later after it recovers 4%. Yeah, so financial investor, that's a really good point. Like, that's something that I kind of try to stress in a lot of my videos. He's saying everyone gets scared when a stock like drops 4%, and then people sell off, and then they'll buy back in when a stock is like doing well and it goes back up 4%. That's exactly how you lose money. That's exactly how people lose money in the stock market. They panic when the stock goes down and they sell and they take that hit, and then like the stock will bounce back and they're like, oh, okay, now the stock is doing good. Now let's jump back in. And it's like, no, man, like, you should have held it, and you probably should have bought more when it was down. If you did your research and you actually liked that stock when you first invested in it, then why aren't you gonna like it when it drops a little bit? Like, if you really did your research and long term you really like that stock, unless you're a day trader, there's a lot of different ways you could look at it. But if you're a long term investor, buying in on dips is key, and it's really important. Blue TJ, I also can't speak to anyone about stocks. People that I know think it's just for the rich and would think less of me if I told them about it. Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. Let's see here. Man, it skipped a bunch of comments because I'm behind. Okay, Stalker. It's crazy that they don't teach basics of investing in school. One of the most important things you could learn, but they completely ignore it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mostly agree with that. I mean, it is definitely key to learn that, and they should focus more on it, or at all. But it depends on like what kind of school you're talking about too, though. Like if you're talking about college and stuff, I guess it kind of depends on what major you choose. I had a pretty good professor who, so I used to have a professor that this is literally what he had us do. He had us listen to earning calls, and so okay, whenever there was an earnings call coming up and it was an important one, we would have to do research before the call, and so we'd have to research the stock and know everything about the company and the stock before the call, and then we had to listen to the call, and during the call we had to take notes and we had to analyze the call, and then after the call we had to give our recommendations for what would happen to the stock and what would happen to the company. And so that was a good professor. So but that's a certain situation. I should probably look up, like, I'm sure Stocker probably replied to that, but yeah, but it just depends, you know, like it depends, like before college and stuff. I mean, nobody ever talks about investing, and then in college it's like you have to choose the right professors and the right classes and the right majors, so it all depends. So I agree with you, Stocker. I agree with you. They should focus more on it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, financial investor. I took finance in high school, and we did stocks with 10,000. Let's see, Blue TJ. Yeah, right. I had to learn everything about the stock market on my own because I was interested in it and I saw potential in AMD. Yeah, I mean that's usually what happens. Like you have to learn investing on your own. YouTube helps. Guys like Stalker and Financial Investor, Monk, like they help. Stocks on Horses. Watching those videos, that helps. But yeah, I mean, it can be you kind of have to spend a lot of time kind of researching it on your own and learning. We started 10,000. Teacher gave us a list of stocks to invest with, and at the end of class, the teacher would give us a 5-digit number to remember the next day. Blue TJ, I actually graduated this month. Nice. What did, if you don't mind sharing, what did you graduate in? What are you interested in, or what are you doing? See, Stalker, yeah, I learned what I know from books, my neighbor who is great at investing, and then I've had a few internships that have helped a lot. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I have done prep for quite a few videos, just can't record. Yeah, it can be kind of hard. I mean, it depends on like the setup you have. Caleb, he's always leaving a lot of cool comments. I like this guy. So he says, whoa, I never expected you to live stream. That's really cool. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, this guy always leaves like really nice comments. Probably one of my favorite subscribers. Let's see here, financial investor. I'm currently reading The Intelligent Investor. I think a good rule people often skip is to read the basics. Yeah, that's true. Basics are important. I mean, like, I think you guys are all doing the right things, right? I mean, we just listened to an entire earnings call, so I think we're covering all of our bases and everything. Let's see here. I have a Google Doc with all my video ideas. I think I have like 10 videos prepped. Yeah, Stalker. He gets so much hate from GoPro. Yeah, I think he's talking about financial education. Yeah, he gets hate on GoPro, and I don't think it's. I kind of like GoPro, to be honest, but I should probably watch what I say because then I'll get hate. But I kind of like GoPro, but I don't know. Like long term though, GoPro is a little questionable, man. I don't know. I just can't jump in on it, but it's not a bad stock, but I just can't really jump in on it. Let's see, the Monk feels like negative reactions become funny after you get used to it. Stalker, I've only ever gotten one hate comment. I responded in a nice way, and the guy subscribed and comments on my videos every now and then. Yeah, I mean, but if it was a hate comment, like, do you really, I don't know, like, do you even want that subscriber? Like, I guess I do, but it's like, when it's a hate comment, like, if it's a negative comment, I can put up with it. Like, if it's a negative comment, like, I'm wrong, for sure. I'm wrong on a lot of things. I don't claim to be right all the time, but so someone calling me out or saying that, I'm wrong about something, that's totally fine, and we can discuss it, and it's fun, actually. Like, I actually enjoy when people disagree with me, and then we can talk about it. Dude, I've had so many people disagree with me about Nintendo alone. Like, everybody disagrees with me about Nintendo, and then AMD, not to mention AMD, but But when it's like a hate comment, like sometimes you get like a hate comment, and at that point it's like, why are you even watching the videos if you just hate me? You know, like I'll be honest with you guys, and I don't know who's doing this. I'm getting like we're getting to a personal level here. I think it's because of the beer, but every time I upload a video, I always get a dislike like right away. There's always one dislike like on I think practically all my videos. Like as soon as I upload it, I usually get at least one dislike right away, and I don't know, man. Like, part of me thinks that that's one person who's I don't know if they're subscribed or what, and they have like the bell notification because they're always hitting the dislike button like right away. So I don't know. It's like at that point, it's like wow. I don't even understand why someone would hate me. To be honest, I don't feel like I'm ever mean to anybody, but it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. But anyway, that's going off on a huge rant. So what else we got? Let's see. Monk says. Says they do that sometimes. Yeah. Blue TJ news reports are coming in. CNBC, Investor Business Daily, etc. It's all coming and may bring in some more people investing. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm hoping for tomorrow. So that's what I'm hoping for tomorrow, and hopefully we can just kind of ride the rally a little bit, and then there'll probably be some profit taking, but you can't do anything about that. Let's see here. Financial investor, the sheep will follow. LOL. After the growth, they will jump in. Yeah, unfortunately. Let's see here. So, dude, I'm so far behind on the comments. Happy for you guys that are invested in AMD. Never bought into it. Oh, financial investor never bought into AMD. But thanks. Yeah, he's saying he's happy for us. Like, see, that's like a good comment, dude. Like when you're not invested in a stock and you can still be, nice and give give respect when it's due and everything, and that's cool, man. Like I respect that. Let's see here. Oh man, I'm gonna pronounce the name wrong. I'm gonna just go with the last name. It says Lou. It says it is seasonal now. 98% gets $5 to $10 stock. 1% gets $10 to $50 stock. 1% gets $50 to $200 stock. Oh, he's talking about. I think he's talking about Robinhood. I think you're talking about Robinhood. It is seasonal now. 98% gets $5 to $10 stock. I gotcha. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's talking about Robinhood. So he's saying 98%. So if you share Robinhood with another person and get them to sign up, and you both get a free share of a stock, I think he's saying that 98% of the people will only get a stock that is worth $5 to $10. And then he's saying like 1% gets 10 to 50 and 1% gets 50 to 200. Maybe the percentages change seasonally, because he does say it is seasonal. I don't really know about that, to be honest, but I've never done it. But some other people mentioned earlier that they were getting like Ford and Sprint, which is pretty cool. So Stalker, I'm not in AMD. Doesn't fit my investing style that much, but great call on it. Cool, man. Yeah, I'm glad. Dude, Stalker, like, he's not even invested in AMD and he listened to the whole earnings call. Like, that's, like, that, I mean, dude, like, you gotta give him respect, guys. Like, that's pretty cool, man. Like, he's not even invested in it and he's still hanging out with us and commenting and, like, helping people out. That's really cool. Let's see, the Monk. I recommended AMD but didn't buy into it. Glad Ale got 10% today. Thanks, Monk. Yeah, boy, you gave a great recommendation because yeah, it went up. So good job giving that recommendation, man. Let's see. Damn it, it just skipped like a ton of comments because I'm behind. I gotta figure out where I was. Okay, Stalker says, I always buy into the stocks I recommend. Feels like if I'm recommending, I should own it. Financial investor says, Stalker investing, are you a dividend investor or growth investor or a mixture? The Monk, that would mean 30 different stocks by the end of the year, though. Don't have Robinhood for that to be worthwhile. It's kind of funny. He always leaves like funny comments. I like him. Stalker, I'm a value investor. Most of the companies I own pay a dividend. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's like it's a good strategy. I don't know if I'm not really a big dividend investor, to be honest. I probably should be, but I like going for growth stocks. But I diversify a little bit. That I do have some, like GE pays a dividend. I have some other ones as well, but anyway, it's besides the point. Let's see. Yeah, Monk, I get where you're coming from. I think that I might run out of stocks to recommend. The market being overvalued doesn't help much. Let's see here. I think in high school they should do a basic lesson on it. Financial investor, wait for the dip. Stocker investing. Crosses fingers for a crash. LOL. He's joking around. Let's see here. I want to crash so much. I'm 35% cash right now. Oh, okay. So Stalker is like he's being kind of, I guess, maybe smart. Like he's kind of like he's saving up for there to be some sort of crash or maybe a correction, something like that. So he wants to take advantage of that. So that's a good strategy sometimes. Taking advantage of things like that. So because what are you gonna do when there's a crash? If there's a correction, what do you guys do? Like do you panic and just sell out and don't get back in, and then stocks like bounce back up later on, and then you guys get in and lose a lot of profit? So there's a lot of ways you can look at it. So it looks like Stalker is someone who would take advantage of that situation and try to get in when stock prices are low. There's a lot of ways you could look at it. Let's see here. So Garrett, just started investing in February. I had a good feeling about AMD. I've been doing my daily research and sold off most of my other stocks so I could invest more in AMD. Bought 100 shares at 12.31. Awesome, man. So it looks like you're doing good. Let's see here. John, what's y'all's opinion on Snap? It has fell $4 to $5 in the last month. I think it will fall more, similar to Facebook when it IPO'd. Just want to see what y'all think. All right, John. So today's your lucky day. I'm gonna give you a response. So I think, man, Snap is an interesting one. Okay. So here's the thing. I like Snap. So I do like Snap, and I mean, you don't have to take go watch Financial Education he's made a couple videos on Snapchat, and he makes good arguments for Snapchat. But the thing that I'm waiting for is I believe it's July 31st, is when the lockout ends. Or the lockup or whatever. So that's when a lot of the initial investors can sell out of Snap. And I think it's going to drop even more. So I'm waiting, to be honest. But I am very interested in Snapchat, and if it does drop more going into next month, that's when I will make a play on it. But right now I'm waiting. And to be honest, you could I'll be commenting on it on videos and stuff, but also Financial Education tends to talk about Snapchat pretty frequently. So that's another person that I'd probably pay attention to. He'd probably tell you when he invested in and things like that. But if I invest in Snapchat, I'll definitely let you know. So you can rest assured knowing that I will make a video on it if I do invest in Snapchat. But probably going into next month, I want it to dip more. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Garrett, makes up for my bad call on Blue Apron. Bought a bunch of shares the day of the IPO without doing my research. Held for 3 days with hopes of it going up. Ouch. Yeah. I didn't trust Blue Apron at all, man. I could not. I don't invest in a company unless I really agree with the product that they're selling and what they're doing. And it's hard for me to believe in something like Blue Apron because I'm someone who goes to Sprouts and I hand pick everything that I buy, everything that I eat. I hand pick everything, and I try to eat healthy. And so I try to choose. I don't mean to sound like I'm some kind of health nut, but I try to choose organic and things like that when I can, and grown in USA and stuff like that. So something like Blue Apron, I don't know much about Blue Apron, to be honest. Maybe they offer really healthy choices. I'm honestly not sure, but something like Blue Apron where they're shipping me my food, I just can't envision that. I can't see myself ever using their product. So because of that, I just can't invest in it. Think about this, guys. What are some of the companies that I'm most invested in? I'm most invested in Nintendo. I have a Nintendo Switch. Second most invested in AMD. I want to buy the Threadripper. I'm most invested in third in Disney, and I love I'm wearing a Punisher necklace, So it's the Marvel universe, right? So I mean that's kind of how I invest. That's when I believe in a product, when I believe in something, that's when I invest in the company. But everybody has their own style. I'm not saying mine's right. I'm just saying everybody has their own style. All right, guys, let's see. We'll probably keep this going for maybe another 10 minutes or so because I don't know. I think we've been streaming for more than 2 hours. I don't know if you guys are sick of hearing my voice or seeing my face, but we'll probably do this for like another 10 minutes. So let's see. Let's see here. So soccer. I'm not investing in Snap, but I'm not a growth investor, so I don't know what others think. Yeah, so that makes sense. Financial investor Colgate did really well during the crash. 2000 crash didn't phase them. 2008 crash, they recovered within a year. Yeah, good to know. Stalker, I'm watching GIS right now, looking for $50 a share. I'm sorry guys, I don't mean to sound stupid, but which one is GIS? GIS stock. Oh, General Mills, right, okay. Dude, it just threw me off because I do a lot of GIS, Geographic Information Science, and so like GIS just kind of threw me off, but yeah, General Mills, that makes sense. Okay, I pretty much finished high school. Not sure what the equivalent to the German gymnasium is. I'm not sure either. Basically, I'm going to college starting in October, and I'm doing a bachelor's degree in technical computer science. Dude, that's awesome, man. Technical computer science. So I'm guessing you're going to be doing a lot of like programming and stuff. That's pretty cool, man. I've taken some classes on programming. I did a lot of Python. I did some stuff with Android Studio. I did some stuff with well, obviously Java. Android Studio uses Java. But that's cool, man. I'm glad that you're doing that. Damn it, it just skipped like a ton of comments again. Let me see. I'm too far behind. I gotta do this quicker. So, doesn't have much to do with the gym. Let's see. Josh, you put out great content. I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's a cool subscriber too. I like that guy. Let's see here. Stalker, dislikes and likes are weighted the same in YouTube algorithm. Dislikes and likes are weighted the same in YouTube algorithm. Also, them watching your videos makes you add money, so not the end of the world if someone dislikes your videos. Okay, I think they're referring to like when I mentioned that someone was like disliking every video as soon as it goes up. But yeah, no, thanks guys. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm not worried about it. Like if dude, like what do I care if like one person dislikes my videos? It doesn't matter. But yeah, but thanks for the advice. Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, someone actually, I was talking about this with someone, just because it's just like something that like sparked my curiosity. But someone was like, yeah, well, I mean, that's just like another viewer, and I'm like, yeah, it's true, it's just another viewer. So, the Monk Way dividends are interesting. I tested a 9% dividend stock, and it was doing well, but sold it for Google instead. Dude, Google had like a nice dip. If you guys were interested in Google. I think they struggled because of that European fine, so that hurt their numbers, and they dipped. And I think, were they up over $1,000 per share? I think they were up over 1,000, and they like dropped back down. Let's see here. Snap. So the monk says Snap, I think, will go back up over 17. It's possible. I mean, we'll see. Like, we'll see what happens with the whole on July 31st. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping that they dip more, and then I would like to jump in, but we'll see what happens. Let's see, Stalker, 9% dividend is really high, depends on the company, but that oftentimes can really stretch a company and hurt them in the future. Yeah, it's true. If it's a REIT, which is a real estate investing, then maybe it's not too high, but for a regular company, that's really high. Then financial investor, I got my portfolio 3.94% now, bought in today at 9.10% yield. Monkway says it was a cable company. Okay, let's see here. Talking about dividends a lot. And AT&T getting Time Warner. Verizon trying to get Charter. Those cable companies could get bought out and shoot price up. Damn it, skipped a bunch of comments again. Let me see. Oh, he says, yeah, programming. I love programming. I don't know if I love it, but it's fun. I like it. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. You can do a lot of cool things. I like what I can do with it. Stalker, I own a bit of Dow that I have done well on. Blue TJ, stock's dropping a little right now. AMD, let's take a look. Could be some profit taking, I don't know, let me see. Okay, yeah, so it went back down a little bit, but it looks like we're still above the 52-week high, and we're still above 10%. So we were up over 11%, and then now we're at 10.42% up today. So we're still doing really good though. Elvis says, I invested on AMD and it's paying off, smiley face. Yeah, man, tell me about it. Lots of people here invested in AMD and we're all really happy about it. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Monk says, use the profits to buy their chips and raise the price even higher. That's funny. Oh, Stalker says, I think he's talking about Blue Apron. He says, has no moat, which is my problem with them. Yeah, I guess that's true. Amazon announced they want to get into the food industry, the food delivery service 3 days after it's a sinking ship. Yeah, pretty much. And we still got 15 viewers. That's pretty good. That sounds like nothing. That sounds like embarrassingly low, but to me, it's like really good. Let's see. I always change my habits after I buy a company. After I bought, is that Exxon? I started going out of my way to buy mobile gas stations. Did you ever get a chance to look at JetBlue Airlines? The financial investor says airline stocks doing good because of low oil prices, but that can change at any time and will affect airline stocks. Yeah, dude, I need to look at airline stocks, man. I've been so busy lately. I'm falling behind on that, so I apologize, Josh. I got to look into that. Well, shoot, now I'm curious. Let's see, JetBlue stock. Doesn't look like too much change, right? Let's check Market Watch performance. Okay, so JetBlue 5-day performance down negative 2.4%, 1 month down almost 1%, year to date up only 1.56%, and 1 year performance up 22.68%. Doesn't look like they pay a dividend. EPS of $1.86, PE ratio of 12.24. Yeah, I mean it's not looking that bad, to be honest, and like their performance isn't like, I mean it's not that great, so it could be a good time to buy. Analyst ratings, average is overweight with 16 ratings. Yeah, I don't know. JetBlue might be an interesting one. I'd have to like analyze it. I'd have to see everything about their company. But sorry about that. I'll try to get that done, and I'll try to get back to you, Josh. It's kind of hard, man. Like I get so many requests. Like I'm like, believe it or not, like it doesn't seem like it because I don't have that many subscribers. I think I only have like probably like less than 600, I think, and but I still get a lot of requests. Like people want me to look at all sorts of different stocks, and it just gets hard, man. Like with my master's program and everything, it gets hard to stay up to date with it. Let's see here. Something that I was thinking about is now that the holidays are coming up, do you think stocks like AMD and Nvidia are going to go up a decent amount? I am thinking on getting Nintendo stock. Okay, so quarter 3 and quarter 4 are going to be really important in my opinion. Yeah, I do think that they're going to go up. I mean, in fact, like I've given a higher price target for AMD in like my opinion. So I do think that they're going to go up. And the thing about Nintendo is that Nintendo has been selling the Switch really well, and it's been sold out everywhere. Part of that is due to shortages, so that's like a fair argument against that, which I'll respect. I'll respect that opinion. But part of it is also that it just completely sells out. I mean, like if you look at, there's some Japan images. I wish I knew how to throw up images on this live stream, but if you look at some Japan images of lines like outside of Nintendo Switch lines, like trying to buy a Nintendo Switch, they're like huge, guys. Like the lines go on for like freaking miles or whatever. Like they're really long. And then Nintendo Switch launched in March, so like it didn't even launch in holiday season, and it sold extremely well. So during holiday season, I think numbers are going to go up even more, and I think it will do really well. I mean, and it's got great games coming out, and people underestimate like FIFA coming out and being on a portable device for the first time. I know that it's on cell phones, but like that's not the same. And then the Mario game coming out, and there's all kinds of other games coming out. So Nintendo, I think, will do very well in holiday season and going into next year and things like that. Long term, I see it doing very well. NVIDIA, I am not the most educated person on NVIDIA, and that's because I spend most of my time looking at AMD. But I think NVIDIA will also do well, and anytime that I like research NVIDIA, anytime that I look anything up, it's always good news about NVIDIA. So I think that they will do well. And then don't forget that NVIDIA makes the chip for the Nintendo Switch. But AMD definitely I do see going up, and quarter 3 will be very important with Epic and all that, and so I think it will continue to do well. And dude, like we got some really good numbers in this last quarter, so I don't see any slowing down of AMD. I mean, this quarter, this was like a very key quarter to not only see how Ryzen sales were going to be, to not only see how GPU sales were going to be, and there was some lingering thoughts about cryptocurrency and things like that. And we were also looking to see what guidance would look like going into quarter 3, because quarter 3 is like a very big quarter as well. So the fact that we did so well in quarter 2, in my opinion, means that we're going to just continue to do well. So I don't see it slowing down for any reason. Okay, guys, I think that's about it. So we've been streaming for like almost 2.5 hours. So thank you everybody that hung in there. We had some very nice expert advice here. And so I appreciate everybody that hung out and talked about this. And this was really nice, man. I usually have to listen to earnings calls like by myself, so I was able to have a beer. We were able to chat. We were able to hang out. So this was really cool. So I really appreciate it. So we got to do this again. So anyway, thank you guys, and I hope that you all have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I hope that you all take care.